Alright YouTube, thanks for coming back for another video. In this video today we'll be going over the nutrient line I use and the nutrients that I use during veg and flower. Sorry, some of these bottles are a little dirty. I've had these for a while. I need to go ahead and re-up on them, but this is what we got. So I use the General Hydroponic Flora series. It's a 3-part bottle system. You use all 3 of these whenever you water your plant, but since we do hydro, every time I do a water change at the end of the week, I go ahead and use all these. You can it has a chart so you can see how much you want to use during your different stages of your plant. But if you go to the website, they have a full chart, shows you how much you need per gallon, shows you ppms and everything. So it's a pretty easy system to use. So you got your Flora Grow. Your NPK is 216. It also has a nice little chart on the back so you can see exactly what you're getting inside these bottles. So you got 2% nitrogen in this one. Available phosphates is 1%. Your potassium 6%, and it also has a little bit of magnesium, 0.5%. And it also shows you what it's derived of and everything, and it's pretty much like that on all the bottles, which is pretty cool. So you know, like when you buy other bottles and stuff, it says that it does all this stuff, but when you actually look at the ingredient list online or something, it has stuff that is not really going to benefit you as well, or it doesn't really explain exactly the percentage of what's inside of it. Then you have your micro, and don't worry about the color of this. I know a lot of people say you want your roots to stay white, but these things, they don't bleach your roots, which is pretty cool. My plants in particular love this stuff, and every time I'm growing with this stuff, my water, I'm pretty much gotten to fill my bottles with that. My buckets of water up probably about 2 or 3 days afterwards. So you actually can see that the plants are intaking this stuff. And like I said, in all the bottles, it has exactly what's inside these, the percentage and stuff. Like I said, everything was derived of. And your last bottle is your Flora Bloom. Also from Botanicare, I got your Silica Blast. This stuff is a game changer. A lot of plants and stuff, when you're growing them, so they like to stretch. The roots don't get really firm unless you're really vegging this thing out for a very long time. And in flower, you start to grow your plants, the buds start to get big, and they're flopping all over the place. So silica is a good thing to use. It's pretty much builds up the cell walls and lets your stems get a lot fatter and stuff, so it can support bigger buds, and also keeps like critters from pretty much messing up your plants and everything. It pretty much builds the plant's defenses, which I'm trying to say. Also, you got your root guard. This stuff is pretty much like I think it's called Hydro Guard, but it's for your roots, so you don't get, it's a beneficial bacteria, so you don't get Palthium, which is the slime stuff. If anybody knows, if your water temperature is too high, it has that slime stuff. This prevents that. It actually has a chart in the back that show you how much you need. So pretty much you can use it all the way through flower, 1 milliliter per gallon. My buckets, I got 5-gallon buckets, but I'm filling up about 3 gallons, so 1 milliliter per gallon, which is pretty cool. Like also shows you your ingredients and everything, so you actually know what's inside this. Sorry about that. But your silica on this, it shows you how much you need for soil, and then I got a hydro garden, so pretty much about 5 milliliters per gallon, so about 15 for me. Also shows you how much of potassium is inside this, which is 5%. Also your CalMag, which helps your plant stay green, which is good. Sometimes you don't necessarily need this stuff, but I've noticed definitely as flowering goes on, your plants start to need a little bit more. On my last grow, I had a rusted leaf issue. I wish I had some CalMag at the time. It definitely would have helped out, but we have it this time, so that's pretty good. And then you have your pH down and your pH up, so you can balance out the pH of your water. So I do, like I said, I do hydro. The good thing with this stuff is you can get your water dialed in. For me, I like to go about 5.5 to 6.5. I don't try to go too high over, or definitely don't go under. If your water's out of specs, your water might not, your plant might be uptaking the water but not using any of the nutrients that you have in the water, so definitely dial it in. Also, we have our pH meter to test the pH of the water, and you also have your TDS, so you can check your ECMs and see how much nutrients are left in the water. But that's pretty much about it. So I'll make another video so you guys can see how I mix this stuff, because with all these nutrients, you don't want to just throw them inside there and water it. Definitely when you're using stuff like silica, always use this first. Get your water to where you need it to be. Then I normally come in with all 3 of these bottles, no order in general. I use my CalMag after that, and then I always end it off with my root guard. And then of course after that, make sure you pH your water, because these things right here, they will, what am I trying to say? It will change the pH of your water. Out here where I'm at, I get about 7 out of my faucet, and then as soon as I put this stuff in there, it goes down to 6. But yeah, these are all the stuff that I use for my flower and my veg cycles. Pretty cool system, but thanks for coming to watch this video, and this is pretty much it.